obviously involve some juggling of roles with Thief and your boy Dre.
So now we're just waiting for this pistol round to start things off again. I think now with this double duelist, you could still definitely see a lot of opping opportunity of Pure now on a map like Ascent that we saw a little bit less here on Bind. But this is going to have to be that main difference of how do you stop that type of angle that is being held here by Pure at that point as that jet opper. And they seem to have some sort of a good result actually when they were fighting against Chemicals just previously versus Immortals, so they might still have that right solution to try to bring this into a third map for LG. But speaking about before we make it into the third map, the pistol round is now live here into this second map on Ascent, and XSET on the defense with We Did watching towards that tree. We're playing a Paranoia and rush into tree for a split into the A side, where just around the corner it's going to be Thwifo at the sliding door. Melts down 2 faces, and Pure gets a third kill. This is a perfect hold right now for XSET. Barely any damage.
This is not what you want to see if you're an LG fan, a pickup on a pistol round that easily from XSET to kick off the second map. Defeatism starts to play out in the head. It's all about that resiliency right now for LG. They need to reset and forget and try and pick up a big dub here. You've got BCJ going to the Guardian, Hiko style. It's something we see a lot from Hiko, who plays the same role for 100 Thieves. Going to the Guardian in these second rounds instead of an SMG. Changes his mind at the last minute, though, just to make us look stupid. So thanks a lot for that, BCJ, you jerk. XSET, though, they pick up that big pistol round win, and they're going to try not to succumb to a round we've seen one too many times work out. The Stingers and Pistol Buy, the Sheriffs and the Stingers, those SMGs can just be so good when they get close range.
Yep. And they're using Eljon to break that trap wire to just try to explode into this market. It starts off with the Lear in the Boombot towards spawn side to push that defender back towards spawn if there was actually anybody rotating from the tree side. A smoke, a counter smoke as well into the market. You're walking into the unknown for LG, but now they're just starting to swarm towards that site as a recon guard is perfect for BCJ to get a kill. But while that happens, everybody's still running into the site to open it up. Aaron trying to satchel charge into the site with a drive-by with the satchel charge that you sometimes see here with the SMGs, but no oppositions here on a pulse plant yet, as LG has 4 players now stacked up inside this B site.
Here.
It's going to be a difficult retake here as he goes to smoke out the dark. Moose is just too quick with the shots through the wall. Good dinks coming down, but Aaron can't find the finisher. And as a result, it'll be LG's round to take. We talked about the success rate of these rounds, these 4 spies, and you can see it play out here. XSET upset LG upset XSET, excuse me. But then again, we could see XSET come back and do the same thing. However, we watched that first map and we saw XSET be a little bit more disciplined with their buy.
Yeah.
And part of me wonders if that's preparation for the next patch. Kind of like understanding, like, okay, this meta is not going to be the thing forever. So maybe they've gotten adjusted already to the way things are currently playing out. It's tough to say because they did this on Bind. And I could see the value behind forcing here with Stingers again to try and kind of clap back against LG.
Yeah, I mean, especially after you've lost a Flawless, right? You just want to say, look, let's try to bring at least the momentum back into our favor to try to get that round with the force buy that we have. It pays off, and now it doesn't pay off that well as We Did. Continues to be aggressive with the Iron Chef right now, and he's able to get 1 kill, damage maybe into a second one, but he's damaged himself as he has to fall back now for better coverage towards the catwalk side. But meanwhile, while that happens, while everybody's still so focused here on We Did on that catwalk, we push up towards this mid. We're now crunching forward, and then Proto is just ready for it now, but not for the third player. Classic in the face, Aaron close by. The SMG is a little bit too far for him to try to pick it up, and as they wall him off, they also force him out of position and take him down.
Yeah, that dart's right around the corner from BCJ, and he's going to move in closer. The timing may work out nicely here. Recon dart's going to go through. Will not give a position away, but it allows him to get across, so it may not look like it's doing much, but it gives him the opening he needs. Now, while he's snuck up, Moose has changed positions, wrapping around to switch. They realize this player is on site. He has to go for the jump out. They're playing Ring Around the Rosie right now, and not much can be done for BCJ. Moose is counterplaying his moves perfectly. Now the shots start to come through from BCJ Sheriffs, but they're not where they need to be. Paranoia into the site, and a kill coming in for Moose at the tail end. 2-1 as LG keep it moving in the right direction. Sure, they lost the pistol, but they returned fire in kind to make sure that they weren't going to allow a serious mountain of rounds to build up early. It all started here in mid as well, with a Proto finding 2 quick kills before being traded out by Aaron, who was waiting around the corner.
It was kind of dangerous, right? They were able to take that mid control for XSET, but again, with the composition that you have, very similarly, you don't really have that much power with any flashes. We would have to throw it all the way here from Catwalk to try to get into the Link so they could double swing into Link. But as he's already at 5 HP, a lot more difficult for him to do there. And he's more busy on trying to bait himself out so that his teammates can move forward and get these kills. But unfortunately, it doesn't pay off. LG able to string up 2 rounds in a row, which is very good for them now on the attacker side. Really struggling on that first map, but still, they want to turn that page around. They're that type of team that doesn't have to worry about those score lines on Vine and could just continue to show a good performance here onto this map. And now they have the rifles to work with on their side. They don't really have that much of mid presence right now for XSET, for LG, because XSET is not really fighting back for that territory. So really, you're still trying to use your utilities to try to find information, and it's going to be XSET that's going to find it first. Spotting 2 players towards that B main, but not forcing out a rotation yet, thinking that this lurk could still be happening towards this B sign. And they're thinking right. Everybody else from LG is currently working towards this A main side. They have a cyber cage now for Thwyfo that could throw that up into a one-way should this Lear come out for the execution. So you'll have that smoke coming soon for LG at the door, the Lear to come out, and a recon dart at the same time. And here comes that push inside.
If you remember, this is a round they lost in that second half against Immortals in their series. The pattern was almost identical. They do get the openers they need to get on the site. After losing 1, though, to the 1 player anchoring on B.
10 seconds
or
left.
A, excuse me. Spike will be planted, and they've got everyone coming through from heaven. It's a 4-man retake, all coming through from a similar position. Aaron, hello? I'm so confused there, how that worked out so well for them. He should have seen and shot that target, right? I'm not imagining things. I'm not crazy. He just ignored it. He just was kind of like, nah, you're good, don't worry.
You ran out of bullets. I got time to maybe try to react to another kill before I look at you.
It was so bizarre to actually watch that. I do want to real quickly give a shout out to our fans in the chat, the people watching. There are fans for XSET and LG, and the reason I want to give you guys a shout out right now is because you are rooting for your teams without being toxic to the other teams, and that is something that is so incredibly rare. So I want to give love to everyone who's currently watching and appreciate you being fans of your teams without trying to drag others down. I know that's dumb, but it matters.
It does. It does. I agree with that. Well done, chat. Much love. And you want to give that love to LG right now because you do want to see another close series. You do want to see a 3rd map if you're an LG fan. As they fought so hard and they're about to fall short. But you could say the same thing for XSET. On the come up right now and continuing their dominance from that first map. They looked very good on that pistol. But now we're starting to see that LG that shines through here on their attacker side, or just in general on this map. It's not over yet for either of these teams in this series. And you have that recon dart to spot out the spawn first. And as it only gets shot out only now, after 1 ping that came out, they know that the mid side was kind of like open. So they want to try to sell some sort of a fake towards the mid side, and now they can run into the tree. But there comes Pura with the knives out, but it's going to be Moose that still takes him down from that nice cyber cage that was thrown out for the cross.
Door's going to be shut. Retake's going to be even harder now. You've got a Proto on Cat. Oh, maybe not. I thought for sure a Proto would at least get 1 from that position. But now that's a weapon upgrade and more opportunity gained here as BCJ tries to go full spam, the position given away, and Moose gets the kill through the floor, returning the favor. There's a showstopper ult being sent down. It's actually going to take out a close target, but not the player who was sitting inside Hell. And those kills just pile up. Simultaneously, the last 2 members of XSET fall. LG, they've grabbed 4 rounds now compared to XSET's 1. They're starting to feel comfortable. Again, they're starting to shake off that first map. and get into the zone. Here's where things get a little bit weird for them, though. We talked about this before. How do they match up against the op? They struggled against Chemicals. That was pivotal in the Ascent series earlier for Immortals, and it could be so here as well for XSET.
They did good by fleshing Chemicals out, depending on the position where Chemicals is playing, right? So if it's going to be like just playing all the way back towards the site, they have utility to try to be able to clear him out. But if it's now going to be the style where they push towards the A main, towards the B main with the operator, that's where they could get caught. Thankfully, it was on the mid side to start things off. They tried to go explosively after the Hunter's Fury so they could try to satchel charge into the site. All this is we're trying to figure out what's going on. It is still going to be just a hold from BCJ into this B site. Pure, though, meanwhile, from the spawn side, we're trying to push it from A Proto. BCJ just going back and forth and strafing to finally get a kill until finally we've taken over the site. We've talked about how difficult it was going to be to face off against Pure. Pure gets 2 kills with the operator, and then now the plant comes down, the paranoia to come out, and it's going to be a tough hold here for Stellar. He gets stopped by Thwifo, and it's 4-1, or should I say 4-2 for XSET after that defuse.
Good way for XSET to get themselves back into this first half and prevent the snowball from really starting to build for LG. 3 players survive. The money will start to build up a little bit more for them. LG, though, should have plenty of cash and they'll be able to afford to buy. It's actually not as good as one might anticipate, despite the fact that you have 4 rounds in a row. You've got your boy Dre on 400. Thief goes down to 0. So you do have 2 players who are currently struggling. And again, we did say, how important is the op going to be? How difficult is it going to be for LG to deal with that if it finally comes into play? Against Immortals, it took a long time for us to see that. Here against XSET, they've pulled that card early. And it could be pivotal for XSET to turn this series around, or this map in this series, I guess I should say. Again, you've got them up top, holding the line with the op, waiting for the peak to come through. That's a big leer that at least makes it more difficult for him, and now he has to be careful as well because there's shots potentially pouring through that box that could scratch him up just a bit and scare him out of that position. But he stands true. He holds his ground.
That's what I liked, actually. That's how they kind of cleared Chemicals before when he was playing it. The difference now is that he's not shooting, so that we could actually break the leer. Thinking now it's going to be somebody playing towards Dice, they don't think anybody's going to play towards this corner. There's a potential body peek. There you go. The body peek was there. He could have had the attempt and the opportunity to get the kill, but he doesn't get it, dashes away. But that's good enough, right? The idea was to just make sure that they don't think that somebody's playing there towards that heaven side, and Pure could have capitalized on that.
They've got support coming in from Cypher as well. That allows them to focus more heavily on short. That's going to be really important for them right now. You can see there is a tripwire down on short as well from their Cypher to make things a little bit harder for them. Got the ults coming through from Stellar, and he commits. A last-second peek comes in from Thwifo. And incredibly, they found themselves at an advantage here as they try to take the site. Pure again with the shot coming out. Your boy Dre trying to keep his head on a swivel, but you can only spin so many times before you break your neck. It's going to be XSET again with 3 players surviving, and most importantly, that op stays in play. It will be a serious nuisance, a thorn in their side, a wound that can potentially become infected if LG cannot find a way to deal with it.
Yeah, I see the idea of maybe why Stellar went all the way back towards that deep pocket behind a generator, just in case somebody was playing behind the default boxes or left side of Dice, that he could give that position away. But I think playing a little bit more further back on that ult gives you a chance to clear out at least a right side corner of L, where potentially he could have not been surprised there by Thwifo holding at the bottom. If Thwifo is still holding, let's say, towards the left side corner of Hell, then at least crosshair placement would have been there. And as we talk about Thwifo and Stellar, we could talk about this one-on-one duel on that side that still comes on top for Thwifo as a Proto. Look at that. Crouching over, trying to get this kill. He manages to shadow step away and turns around for the kill onto a Proto. Just unfortunate, so unlucky. As now this eco does not come in favor, of LG for any type of kills on their end. It's looking to be another round here for XSET to tie things up quite soon.
That could have been a momentum shifter in the round. Pure is just lasering LG currently with the off to bring things potentially back to a tie score. Nice shot coming out from Thief, who's down to 1 HP, but he's like, that's cute and all, but I have this cool little heal that lets me get back up to full HP. He doesn't kill the dart, though, and ends up getting gunned down through the wall by BCJ once the pulse comes through. Great damage dealt. You can see multiple players on XSET were almost eliminated, like sub 20 HP, but this, oh my god. F's in the chat for a Proto who tries to make this one possible, and that is just so incredibly frustrating and disappointing. Should have been an opener that could have resulted in a rifle pickup. Could have tried to take that fight with the player in market. There was still one towards spawn, so realistically, at best, I think maybe one more kill comes through. Even still, maybe none. But that's definitely defeating. Here's that cat play coming in from Pure now with the op, changing positions, floating around across the map to find openers. How did they handle Pure? Because again, even if he's not hitting his shot, it's the fear of the shot. It's kind of like the Viper ult factor. You don't want to run at a Viper ult, so you have to go somewhere else. How does the op eventually get into your headspace and affect the way you play on this attacking side?
Or at least for now, if we're talking about the op here of Pure for XSET, he's living rent-free right now in LG's mind, really blocking down any type of aggression. He's not playing as aggressive as other operas to take ground control towards the B main, A main at beginning of the rounds, at least for now. But just anchoring inside the site is just very strong here for Pure as the defender side continues to hold true to tie things up on a 4-4 line. Even a drop a player early on as the showstopper has been stopped. It's going to be ready for the next round at least, but you already have your boy Dre dead here on that catwalk. Thankfully, though, we've made it up towards that sidewalk. It's a double towards the back of the site. We're trying to get that Odin out, but it's once again Pure. Catches a Proto, is trying to surprise him towards that spawn side, and as they hold back towards the boathouse, finally, they both drop inside, and Stellar, who watches the rotation, catches Aaron, and the advantage comes back in favor of LG.
Again, the dart not smoked early enough. Pure has to be careful. You can hear the shots coming through the wall, and you see the tracers whizzing past his forehead.
No charges left.
Pure, though, able to survive for the time being. The door does get shut. Stellar, the lurk play coming on the back end. Suddenly eliminated. All of a sudden, it's down to a one-on-one. You've got Thief backside, no flashes, does have Devour and Dismiss available. There's one tapping the spike on the site. Quickly, it's gonna be We Did. And XSET somehow managed to get back into the site, and they will even scoop up and off from Sidewalk. As the port comes through, he'll go up and grab it, and it'll keep it in play. Incredible things. It was this shot coming in from Pure that made that a little bit easier, and also shutting the door and preventing Stellar from really being able to have impact, knowing then that he's going to be coming through from spawn. And it comes down to this 1v1. Thief just not able to muster up enough against We Did.
And that's 4 rounds in a row now for XSET to regain that lead, and just like that, it's kind of like a last chance for LG before their economy gets broken into the next round. So they have to try to get something done with this attack. So I talked about it. The aggression for the control towards A main or B main looks like it's going to be this round. Pure is already stuck up. Sorry, towards the entrance. You have a Hunter's Fury that pings 2, and he gets a double kill onto Moose and Stellar. An early 5-on-3, and that shambles any plans of trying to explode into the A site, probably off the back of your boy Dre's showstopper.
Getting flashbacks to that series against Immortals, where Gangsta was consistently hitting that ult. Again, we talked about it. 8 ult kills in the series for Gangsta against LG, and now we see the same thing happening here as BCJ is starting to pick up steam with that ult, but it's Pure who is the all-star on the round with the op. It's been since they purchased the op that we saw the turnaround. Look at how he just bulks them together. He's got a group discount with that ult. And then you've got Pure here from On Heaven, just shot after shot coming out, the confidence to go for that next peak as well, knowing that there's a player right there around the corner to trade out should he fall. 14-5 right now for Jed. We said that the op might be a problem. We've talked about LG struggling with an op presence, not really having a dedicated opper, especially so on this map when Thief goes to Reyna. You're really seeing that play out, especially at the start of this round, with Thief dying to the op.
Finally, they stop him, but off the back of not much of a buy here, and even the showstopper doesn't get much, but it's good enough to run right behind there. So 2 players to set up for the trades, but Thwifo had perfect one-ways on the entrance of that B side to really hold his ground against the last 2 players trying to rush into the site. So now moving into the last round of the half, yes, it's 7-4, potentially 8-4. I don't know. The money's back here for LG at least. And then we'll see what's going to happen then for LG once they take the defender side. But Pure, the way that he's operating so far and the way that he's turned up into this first half, I would be okay with using Pure as an operator on the second half too. He is landing those shots and he's landing them quick.
Oh, you can hear that showstopper ult sent out early. Not going to clear the corner. Doesn't matter. Aaron gets the flick back. They're taking the fight straight at them. And already down to just 1. Of course, it's Pure to find that final kill on the round. XSET look so good here, and LG look stunned. We're going to throw things to a quick break when we come back. We hope that LG can try to turn this around, make this a closer game for the series. Stay tuned to find out. A first half that was disastrous for LG needs to turn around right here. They need to pick up this pistol round. The scoreline is ballooning in favor of their opposition. Looking at their match on Ascent earlier against Immortals, their defensive side was not that pretty. So this is a little concerning. They only won 5 rounds against IMT earlier, and with the way that XSET is coming into this, I'm a little bit concerned right now for LG. Their run might be ending short here if XSET can pick up a pistol round and continue where they left off in that first half.
Shot darts they rain down, trying to do some damage. No kills, at least some damage. Low HP is going to be the spike planner, which is going to be BCJ. But very similar as how they execute into the site, going through that catwalk with the recon dart and also the paranoia. But here comes a retake. 4 players on the top of heaven, 1 coming through the door. It's going to be Thief getting the first blood for this pistol, but gets immediately traded out. And they're still waiting to bust open this door. Drop it towards Hell. It's going to be 3 players under there, and it's a perfect crossfire bait and switch in favor of XSET, leaving only Stellar on his own at the doorway. Right clicks all across, and it's going to be the distance of the ghost of Thwifo that gives him the pistol and the advantage moving into the second half.
They already had the advantage coming into the second half, and they made it even more advantageous. Yep. Look at the run of rounds. 8 straight. They won the pistol. LG, they came back and returned the favor with a second round win. And they managed to get a few in a row. And you're like, okay, LG feeling more comfortable. Things are shaking up. And then what happens? Boom, Pure gets the off. The thing we've been talking about in general. LG's Achilles heel. And they could not find a solution. And they just let Pure kind of run rampant in that first half after that point. The hope was that you could pick up the pistol round here and control the economy. But it's not coming together that way. And unfortunately, we find ourselves here in this position for LG fans. For us personally, I want to see this game go deeper. I want to see more of what these 2 teams have to offer. But I'm excited to see XSET stepping up. This is a team who I think shows tremendous promise. And as great as LG has been more recently, XSET has kind of snuck up on everyone's radar and proven that they belong. Remember, winner of this moves on to Masters. So XSET has a chance right here to make it to Masters with a victory on Ascent. As they go for the B take, there is some presence here from LG, a little bit of force. You've got one on site. Ooh. That's a Proto who connects. You've still got Moose to deal with, who's playing back steps, has to watch out as there's targets now floating around on the other side. Your boy Dre is in position as well. They haven't actually taken the site yet, so they've still got time to try and shut this out. They might actually decide to go through the door and shift to another site, but they're going to go right at Moose. Moose gets the first one, but like you said, no time. They had to go. Moose can't survive much longer. 10 rounds, double digits for XSET.
It went by really fast here between the players, but I have a feeling that the way that a Proto set that cage here towards that sidewalk and how he's playing it on that ledge, there's a reason why I understand now why he's always on that ledge. Because when you pop that cage, there's still somewhat of a gap where you're like trying to lean in and watch anybody else that's trying to run through the cyber cage to try to pick him off. I think that's what it was. But, well, I'm going to have to check the VODs later on. That was pretty nice, but overall even nicer for XSET to continue to show dominance here and denying that force buy that you had from LG into that B site. And yes, they didn't have enough time, but they still had 3 submachine guns against 1 towards the back of the dice for to take down Moose. And I think at this point, you just want this game potentially to even end faster so you could just buy that XSET cereal bowl, Buck.
Yeah, that's right. We said it. Chat for everyone coming and joining us now. Vansili and I don't know if you agreed to this, but I said we would do it. There is an XSET cereal bowl, and we may just have to purchase it if XSET wins the series, which is looking incredibly likely as time goes on. They capitalized with the first map victory, and it was a pretty solid one as well. And they rolled that momentum here onto XSET's attacking side, or defending side, excuse me, once Pure got the op. XSET went and managed to cap off a very strong first half, 8-4. LG trying to stop the bleeding, as we'll see an A take come through. The nade's going to flush that player out of position. Thief on the other side of the door. That's actually huge, but Thief is so low on HP, and you can see it in the third-person cam there. Runs out wide. Pure is standing right next to him like, dude, what are you doing here? Ends up getting the kill. And again, we find a 3-on-3. Spike going to be planted momentarily. Got 3 players coming through from heaven, or 2 coming through from heaven, 1 garden, as the Cyphers drop down and waiting on the other side of the door. That's since been taken care of. A Proto, nice shots from the Sheriff in the backside of his target. It's now down to BCJ. In hell, they've spotted him with the cam as well. They know that he's here. There's the swing from A Proto. They keep themselves alive. 5 rounds for LG. They've still got some fight left.
Not too bad, especially due to the fact, yes, that creep in that came through the doorway at least was that big kill that kind of kept XSET with a question mark above their head, saying, like, how did this actually get through our defenses on a post-plan situation? But you really have to give it to a Proto being able to come back and swing for that second kill indeed, and also bring that camera to spot that last person towards hell. So that was a good information utility out of 2 versus 1 when the second player for LG was low on HP. So getting that camera out, spotting BCJ at the bottom of hell, and now really timing the correct swing into hell to try to get that kill was good communication for them to salvage a round into the second half. Now they're just going to try to bring as much firepower as they can into the following rounds for Luminosity, just because they're really trying to catch up into this game. A boombot, sorry, to come out into the B site. The door is already going to get close towards that switch, and we have the Blade Storm out for Pure, who's looking for the flash and dash off the Paranoia. He makes it towards that switch. He's looking back towards the spawn, but he's down to 15 HP as he's being fully spammed and also pinged by a dart.
A Proto needs to step up, but who worries about a Proto when you've got Moose on site, puffing up his chest and stopping the push down sidewalk? LG, stay alive. You saw that ult attempt come in from Pure, but it is a fruitless effort. Down to 15 HP once getting into Switch House, and then a pulse from a recon dart gives away his position in the corner, and it's a quick and easy kill for LG to pick up. But it was Moose who was there to stop the push. We talked about it coming into the previous series, how strong Moose was playing for LG yesterday. And today, he steps up big again. A nice 3K. And that puts XSET into a weird position with their economy. You're going to see that Stinger light on the by, and they're going to be exploding out onto this A site, like you said.
Yeah, rush to get the orb, going through the Owl Drone, Showstopper into the site. Pure with a kill in long range onto the Heaven side, and they take over the A side at least. A smoke to cover up towards Heaven. They're trying to get this plant, but it's going to be looking for a safe plant because he still had a Hunter's Fury back from the defender side as Moose lets it ring but does not connect for any kills. Does a bit of damage on top of it though, but now that the spike has been planted, it's a 4-man retake for LG with no more ultimates left with the exception of the Neural Theft. Big dart coming out that tags BCJ. That is from the camera of A Proto, who's moving out towards that tree side again. But can that retake be done?
You saw the Lear come through. It's unsuccessful for LG. Again, it's Moose, who's in the same position as last time. Positions given away by Neural Theft as the hat get tossed out from the Cypher. There's a jump peek, not prepared for this player who's already on site, and the swing comes through from Thwifo. XSET, they hit some bumps, but they've managed to find safety and stability once again. 11-6, just 2 away from eliminating LG and qualifying for the upcoming Masters.
Yeah, as it's a bump for XSET, it is actually a wall being built for LG, looking to be stopped by XSET and unfortunately be knocked out here of the close qualifier stage 1 for the challengers trying to make it into Masters. So LG mustering everything they can. Thankfully, they had 2 rounds in a row to allow for them to go for another rifle round into this one here. So Aaron trying to see if there's going to be any aggressive pushes happening towards this B side, but no. Action is happening towards the A side. LG trying to surprise some opponents towards that A main, and they already stopped one down.
Pulses coming out from Hunter's Fury, no connections there. Thief utilizing Empress, but it's a stalemate currently. They're waiting for the push to potentially come through. You've got Thief waiting on the other side. Does Thief go for the Lear through this and the peak? It would be risky, but it looks like they're just going to hunker down inside the smoke.
I was wondering if they're going to try to go for like some sort of a hit eventually, and if they're able to lurk back into the B side, or at least you have from the shadows available to teleport back into B for a plant. But as you have a stalemate, because nobody's going for map control towards LG side, losing a player early, they have to play the sites more passively right now and turtle it up. So which is why now for XSET, they're regrouping together and they're just looking for another explosion into the A side execution.
There's the ult as well from Weedid, getting him into position. You can see the kills piling up for both teams as the recon dart starts to give away positions. Moose has managed to sneak out, and BCJ just wasn't ready for that. So Moose, Thunderfoot's out of heaven. They'll get the spike planted, but it's down to just the last few seconds on the round, and that's what allows them to get out here so quickly. Got a little scary there. They lined up, but a Proto dodges the bullets for the meantime. 7 rounds now for LG, trying to keep themselves in this game, trying to prevent it from getting to round number 12 for XSET.
It's not over yet here, LG fans. It's still very doable for this team to try to come back in this matchup. We've seen it earlier on today when they actually had to play against Immortals on the first best out of 3. On Icebox, they were already in a position where they could have potentially lost, where they actually had a surmountable comeback once they switched sides. And this time playing on their map, on Ascent, playing on the defender side where they're usually more comfortable, it's still very doable here. But now Thief is going to try to hold off here with your boy Dre, looking to be towards that tree side crossfire. And as they hear the boombot, towards that E main, he decides to fall back and support Stellar towards that A side, but it's so passive still. Look at that ping towards that right side too. They're trying to see if anybody's going to be on the right side, but the Owl drone is going to give that information away.
Awesome damage coming through from Stellar. That's big though. Both players on the site fall. Thought for sure we'd see something work out for Thief. But a player disadvantage here. The only ult they currently have for LG is Neural Theft. Spike goes down. As they start moving into better positions, your boy Dre does have the boom bot to go out and has the shotgun as well, so wants to go back towards Heaven, where you could potentially dive bomb Hell. But what can they do to try to get him into that position? You've got to deal with these players long. You got no smokes, nothing to cord off that area. So you've got a Proto coming through, and it's all falling on to Moose, the last remaining player, and Moose just realizes that it's over. The round has been lost. XSET will get round number 12. And again, it was off of an A-site hit. Something we talked about in that first half that was really strong for XSET was the AWP presence. But we thought maybe here on this defensive side that would be something LG wouldn't have to worry about so much, because an attack side AWP feels awkward, especially on a map like Ascent. It's clunky, it's uncomfortable. They've kept XSET's money in check, so they've eliminated that from even being a possibility. but then they're struggling against these rounds that should be a little bit easier for them. You saw that opener from Stellar, from Heaven. Thief then just goes for a peek with a rifle and gets nothing. Thief struggling currently at the bottom of the scoreboard alongside Stellar, 10 and 17 for the Reyna for LG.
And even the continuous hits that you have now towards the A side for XSET shows the respect that they have for A Proto playing towards that B side. And especially when you have A Proto and Moose playing together, then it's a site that you might not want to touch. This time it's been slowly switched out because they have the Hunter's Fury that is trying to go back towards the A side. But this could be it. Aaron's already made his way towards spawn. Your boy Dre is the first to fall. A Proto in the back of the site. From the shadows back towards the shed side. The spray does not come out. That is already 2 down. Down to a 5-on-2. This could be it now for XSET. Moose now towards that spawn side. Is that going to be the last man standing? And that is it. Ladies and gentlemen, XSET gets the second map and rep the set. They are going to the Masters.
Unfortunate